Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Dychronic here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at these Xur's inventories, random rolls, his location, my recommendations for October 23rd, 2020. You can find these Xur in his regular location on the EDZ, so just over to the Winding Cove, make your way on top of this this little hillside right here, and you can find these Xur on the precipice. Wait, come back. On the precipice! This is a high overview, in case this is all you cared about. The weapon here today is going to be the Cerberus +1, one of the more interesting weapons in the game, shooting erratic bullets from all gun barrels at the same time, so it shoots actually a spread of 4 bullets as a 360 auto rifle, and also on top of that, aiming this weapon reduces the spread of its projectiles. On top of that, the Catalyst also gives you the ability to hold the reload down and then swap to a tighter close range spread, which from my experience, tighter and close range aren't usually things that usually go together. On top of that, I actually have found that the regular version is actually better at close range and at long range. And I haven't done the numbers test, but that's what it feels like, and I think it's broken and Bungie has forgotten about it. However, I would say this exotic is a lot of fun. Considering this is basically an automatic shotgun, primary ammo type of shotgun, this can be a lot of fun in a lot of PvE. Now, I would not personally recommend it for high level PvE. I usually recommend having an exotic special weapon or having something else with a bit more range to it. But hey, you can never go wrong with having a little bit of fun. So if you're just bored and you're thinking, oh, these guns that I've been using all the time are boring, this gun will definitely spice it up. For the Hunter exotic today, we have the Lucky Pants. Now this is an exotic that has been changed multiple times over its lifetime. Its current perk, illegally modded holster, precision hits load 1 round into the stowed hand cannons, and hand cannons ready faster and more accurate immediately after swapping to them. That second part's the important part, and it basically gives your hand cannons quick draw and opening shot default to them, even if they have a bunch of other perks. Now, I personally don't find this to be that particularly useful. I would imagine the main idea here is to be able to give quick draw and opening shot to exotic hand cannons like the Sturm or the Ace of Spades or the Thorn, whatever particular hand cannon you're trying to use. Usually people will use this with like a bow hand cannon or fighting lion hand cannon build, where they just shoot off their first shot of their bow and then very quickly swap to their hand cannon, and having more accuracy is a perfect combination. Honestly, it is the perfect thing to have this exotic for. However, I find that there are just so many different special and primary ammo weapons with quick draw and opening shot, I don't often need them. And honestly, I'd rather go with my Wormhouse Crown, Dragon Shadow, Stompies. These give you a number of other bonuses and a lot of other things, mostly in health and mobility, that I'd rather have. As far as PvE goes, this doesn't help at all. You want to focus on your super stuff in PvE. As far as Z-roll goes, high mobility is definitely nice, a decent amount of recovery is also nice. However, I would like to see even more recovery and definitely a lot more strength. Considering that most people use Void, Way of the Wraith in the Crucible, having more smoke bombs is something that the hunters are definitely using a lot more these days. Not these days, but like, they're using it these days, not more these... Forget it. And lastly, the most important part, if you thought these little tattered pants need a little bit of a new makeover, there's an ornament for some new pants. Moving on to the Titan exotic. Today, we have the Heart of Inmost Light. I believe I put this in my top 10 for Titan exotics, and it's definitely a very powerful one. Main perk, Overflowing Light, using an ability, your grenade, melee, or barricade, empowers the other 2 abilities. And empowerment means that abilities have a faster regeneration, and melee and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. The idea here is you throw down your barricade, and then you can throw your grenade, use your melee, and you can keep on doing this cycle to get them to all recharge really quickly and do a little bit more damage. In PvP, I believe you can put down your barricade, and then your magnet and fusion grenades will actually one-shot, which is something some people do, but I find that it's a little bit clunky. It takes a bit of time to actually put down the barricade, and then you have to go and find the person to actually throw the grenade at, or you have to shoulder charge them, which that timer for empowerment is not that long. And in PvE, obviously you have a lot more time to do what you want to do. Barricades are definitely used a lot, or at least I use a lot of barricades in the high level play, so it's definitely something that you're going to get a lot of use out of in any one of the subclass. It does not specify Solar Arc or Void, meaning you can use it with anything, making it quite a powerful exotic, doing more damage with grenades, having more hit points on your barricade, and being able to get everything to charge faster on its own is very strong. You know, just had a thought here, if the Warlocks could actually have this exact exotic, Celestial Fire would be kind of ridiculous. It's already ridiculous, but kind of even more ridiculous. Imagine just throwing a rift down, you know, casting out your grenade, and then launching a nuclear missile of Celestial Fire. And that also gives you all of your other stuff back, and then you can use like all this crazy Let's not go there, Bungie. Let's keep it to the Titans in-house, right? As far as the role goes for this particular exotic, there is a lot of resilience to it, which actually is synergetic with this build, allowing you to get your bear kits more faster, which allows you to get your empowerment of your other abilities faster. And I believe resilience in your class ability is usually the fastest one of the 3 different abilities. However, I still don't really want resilience on this build. So I would honestly say maybe a below average stats for definitely an above average exotic, which does have an ornament. Ooh, look at that. Why is it not going red? Go red. Ooh, that's a lot of red. And finally, for the Warlock Exotic, we have the Fellwinter's Helm. Its main perk, Warlord's End. Any of the charged melee kills create a burst of energy that weaken nearby enemies, making them take more damage, and of course disorient them, putting a smoke bomb on their screen in PvP, or making it so the enemies just get dazed in PvE. And finishers, or kills against more powerful enemies, increase the burst of the radius, and of course the length of the weakening effect. This is very similar in activation to the Cowl or the Severance Enclosure, and I find that this is probably one of the better of those 3. However, there's a big caveat to this. While making your enemies take more damage and smoke bombed is a strong thing, it depends on getting a charged melee, and it always comes from your body. It does not come from your target. If you could use Celestial Fire from range, hit a target with that, and they would pop with that burst of energy, meaning that all of the enemies near them, that would be way more powerful. However, the fact that it comes from your body is just a bit clunky, and there's not always a time we're going to be right next to like 3 of your enemies. You're going to get a charged kill with your melee that it's really going to be that useful. But there's definitely a lot of videos on YouTube that I've watched that are pretty cool. When you pull this off, you definitely shut down a lot of people because they definitely do not expect it. And in PvE, obviously depending on getting a melee kill and being in close proximity is not a great thing, and usually you go for finishers when there's not a lot of enemies nearby. As far as the role goes for this exotic, definitely like to see that there's a lot of recovery. You'd like to see a bit more mobility because you're going to have to get in melee range very often, and obviously you're going to want to see a lot more strength. You're going to be wanting to use this with charge melees. You have to be near targets. You're going to want to get those charge melees as often as possible. So I'd say probably maybe an average to below average roll for maybe a below average exotic, which you can also make it red. How red, you say? You can make it extremely red. Outside of that, make sure you're picking up your 5 of Swords for high scoring Nightfalls on the regular Nightfalls, which again will actually be removed at the start of Beyond Light. It'll only be the Ordeal activities for Nightfalls, the Invitation of the Nines for some powerful gear as well as lore, and of course the Exotic Engram, which every Exotic Engram is guaranteed to give you an exotic that you've never gotten before, and it's always guaranteed to have a high stat roll. So the reason why I buy them is so that I can get, ooh, wow, that's a good one, get some, oh, there's no discipline on it. Not for that exotic. Oh, okay, just because I want to get some pretty crazy exotics. The only time I want discipline is with an exotic that depends on your freaking grenade. And of course, if you have extra ciphers, you can also use it on the Zerg. Now, I don't know how long the ciphers are going to last, but I'm going to save it till next season to see if I can actually do that. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you need questions, concerns, tips, tricks, you want to say hello, any of that, whatnot. Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, come check out our live streams, or my live streams that I do right after these Zerg videos, as well as all the other times on screen you can see right now. We're going to be doing some Grandmaster Nightfalls, seeing how many we can do in the 3-hour time limit there. You know, obviously all of the Grandmasters have opened up. There's definitely going to be an easy Lake of Shadows because that boss is just bubble and smack. There's going to be a lot of good stuff, so come check it out. And if we have enough time, we'll probably open it up to open lobbies for that stuff. But yeah, that's going to be the end of it. My name is Dychronic, and I will see you guys on the next one.